Hey guys, so in today's video, I thought that I would answer a question that was actually posted in a CNA group that I am part of on Facebook. And I thought that it was good information to kind of share with you guys too, because you never know when somebody might be curious or wondering the same thing. So I'm going to read what this person said, and then I will respond to it. And please excuse the fact that I am kind of down currently. It's not emotional. I had a seizure this morning, and so I'm still like exhausted from that, but I wanted to film this. So this person said, question, this may be stupid or common sense, but my sister was on a flight and they asked if there was medical personnel on board, and it got me wondering if, as a CNA, that's something that we are allowed to do. I know if someone was to need CPR, we are supposed to help, so would the answer be yes? So most of the time when they're asking for medical personnel on a flight, they're probably looking for a doctor or a nurse, which would be above the skill level of a CNA, obviously. If they were asking specifically, does anybody know CPR, things like that, then obviously I would say then you can volunteer with it, volunteer for it, if it is something that you are comfortable doing. If you are not comfortable in your CPR skills, as much as this probably sounds horrible to say, if you are not comfortable with your CPR skills, do not volunteer. If there's other people that are able to help. Now, obviously, if there's a situation where you're the only one that knows CPR, which I don't think there would be, because at least in my opinion, I think that all flight attendants and airline personnel should be trained in CPR, because you never know what could happen in the air. But, there may be a situation where nobody on board knows CPR, in which case, it's kind of like a gray area, I guess. I would say if you're comfortable with it and there's nobody else, feel free to volunteer. If there's nobody else, you should probably try to help if you can. There are laws that protect you if something was to happen, Good Samaritan laws, where if you were trying to save somebody's life and they got injured or died in the process, the family cannot come back and sue you if you were just trying to provide life-saving measures. So that's just something to be aware of. But most of the time, like if they're asking for medical personnel like that, they usually mean like a more advanced level provider, like a nurse or a doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, things like that, because you don't know exactly what the situation is. It could be somebody is not feeling well. It could be somebody has chest pain. It could be somebody's really dizzy and they're trying to figure out like what is going on. It could be a whole range of different things. And like I said, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. So if you feel comfortable volunteering, then feel free to do so. But otherwise, unless it's an emergency and you're the only person that knows that skill, sorry, I have something in my eye. Don't feel pressured to volunteer unless you are absolutely comfortable with it. And the reason I say that is because, yes, with CPR, obviously that can save somebody's life, but there are acts that you commit or do during the act of giving someone CPR, like you can break ribs, you can do a whole bunch of damage. So if you also don't know what you're doing, don't try to do it. CPR, though, is very, very simple for the most part. Honestly, when COVID happened, they trained us at the facility I was working at with compression-only CPR, giving no rescue breaths, nothing. And they said, at least if you can do compressions, you have a better chance of saving their life. And the reason that they taught us compression-only CPR is because it puts us at less risk as healthcare providers, less risk of getting COVID from a patient due to their respiratory activity. Sorry, my mind is all over the place right now. But I would definitely say, like, also, let me just say this. Okay, so you said, I know if someone was to need CPR, we are supposed to help. So would the answer be yes? You are not necessarily supposed to help. If you can help, that would be great. If you are the only person around, then morally, I think it would be kind of hard to deal with if you know that this person was at risk of losing their life and you did nothing to help and you knew how to help them. I think that would be something that would stick with you for years, probably the rest of your life. But I wouldn't necessarily say that CNAs are supposed to help with CPR, like just in an everyday, out in the world type of setting. Now, obviously, if you're at work in your facility, there are different policies depending on where you work. Some facilities that I've worked at wanted CNAs to have nothing to do with the whole code process, and code, like a code blue, is what I mean by that. So other facilities I've worked at wanted CNAs to be completely involved. If they were the person that needed to initiate CPR, then they were expected to do so. But that is at work. And so that is totally different than if you were on a flight somewhere, just kind of moving through life as an ordinary citizen. So I just thought that you guys would want to know this information in case any of you guys had the same or similar question. Hopefully this helped. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you have any topics you'd like me to discuss in the future on my channel, please let me know and I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, that's all I have for today. So I will see you guys next time.